and you claim to be a Christian and you claim to go to church. If I go to church, does that stop me from being a human being? Nobody or no set of individuals have experienced this word called gaslighting like Christians, like believers. For instance, I saw a statement somebody wrote and said that they have been treated more with kindness and respect by people that don't go to church as compared to people that goes to church. Now, I really do not know where that statement is emanating from or where it's coming from. But the people that go to church are first human beings. Human beings with background. Human beings with upbringing. Human beings with character flaws and character issues. Human beings that are walking their way through their limitations. It is not the church that teaches them to act in a certain way that is not called for. So you don't use the church. You don't use the church as a bracket or an umbrella to capture a certain set of people that you have had a bad experience with. You know, you see situations like that. Christians are being gaslighted. And that's the reason why you see a lot of pretense in our world today. You see a lot of hypocrisy in our world today because people are not allowed to be who they are, all in the name of, and you claim to be a Christian and you claim to go to church. If I go to church, does that stop me from being a human being? That's the question I want to ask you. I'm a human being. I have feelings. I think. I process things. I struggle with things sometimes. And in the midst of all that, I am a child of God. I love the Lord. And I'm walking through my flaws. You see, so the people that go to church, they even do more worse things than people that don't go to church. There had never been any time, even in the scriptures, that God concealed the flaws and the limitations of men, all in the name of because they believe in him. No. And the day people learn to separate human beings and their behavior with God or to God, that's the day we will have a civilized, constructive society. So if the government is not working, they said it is the church. And the problem of the church, there are other religious institutions. There are other religious beliefs. So, but when the church is not speaking anything, they said the church is the cause of the decadence in the government or in the economy. Can't you see that we are wrestling against things that are not flesh and blood? Your uncle is not your problem. Say, that my uncle that refused to help me, he's a pastor in a church. He goes to church, him and his family goes to church, and he refuses to help me. Your uncle is not your problem. So don't use the fact that you're disappointed with the way somebody treats you to mean that the church has disappointed you. Doesn't mean that, okay, people that go to school, and they go to university right now, right? They go there, they are expected to go through 4 years of schooling, 5 years, 6 years, depending on the course, and come out a graduate being able to communicate in that line, being able to operate all the apparatus and all the things that are required for them to operate in that line, and they come out without knowing nothing. Will you say the school have failed? Will you say the university had failed? And that's the same thing we are having today in our world. A lot of people are blaming institutions instead of taking responsibility for their life, especially in this very 21st century that we are in. The church is not your problem. The church is not your problem. the church, that you have a problem with a human being does not mean the church is the problem. You say, oh, you can be teaching love, righteousness, peace, joy, and human beings will always be human beings. So if you want to say, okay, because of your dealings with a human being, you're no longer going to go to church again, that's up to you. Doesn't have anything to do with the church. God bless you.